Residents of Burkina Faso's capital Ouagadougou reacted on Friday to a speech given by their new military leader, Colonel Dabiba, the night before. Damiba addressed the nation after the mutinous soldiers forced democratically elected President Rochma Kabouré to resign this week, announcing they are now in charge of the country that is under siege by Islamic extremists. If security comes back, it is up to us to see if we're going to make an electoral calendar or not. That is to say that if the elections are this year or next year, it is not a problem as long as the president does a good job, we can leave it. I like his speech about the fight against terrorism. We hope that it succeeds in defeating terrorism and that everyone can return to their villages. Because when we see widows or orphans on the streets begging, it's too sad. The international community has condemned the coup despite widespread local support. On Friday, West African bloc ECOWAS has decided to suspend Burkina Faso in the aftermath of this week's coup, making it the third nation in the regional bloc to be punished for a military takeover in only 18 months.
Civil society organizations in Burkina Faso are urging the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, not to impose sanctions on the country. The appeal took place as West African leaders decided on Friday to suspend Burkina Faso from the organization. Many in civil society are apprehensive about the future. We therefore dare to tell ECOWAS to be very careful with its sanctions against the people of Burkina Faso, against this transition, because we are not going to let them do it to us. We are not going to let Burkina Faso fall prey to imperialist powers once again. We are clear on this. ECOWAS leaders called for the release of ousted President Rochma Kabouré, placed under house arrest. Another ECOWAS summit will take place on the 3rd of February. Our proposal is that it will be a civilian-military coalition, but that is not really the question. The question is which type of person we designate to lead this transition, because if it is a question of going to recover an old class that has proved its failure and that does not know how to do anything other than steal from this country, we are already starting on a false basis. In a speech, the new leader of Burkina Faso said this country needs its partners more than ever. The United Nations have announced that nearly 40% of people in Ethiopia's Tigray region face extreme lack of food. The announcement was made by the World Food Programme as fighting continues in northern Ethiopia.
Is there famine in Tigray right now?
Crisis-affected families in northern Ethiopia were getting less than 30% of their caloric needs in the past months, pushing people deeper into crisis. It's expected that that constant humanitarian food assistance will be required at least throughout 2022. We need all the parties to agree to a humanitarian pause and formally agreed transport corridors so that supplies can reach the millions besieged by hunger.
Fighting broke out in the Tigray region in November 2020 between the rebel TPLF and government forces. In November last year, the rebels claimed to be advancing on the capital. Intense rains in southern Africa have left a trail of destruction in several countries. Tropical storm Anna made landfall in Madagascar on Monday. At least 48 people have been killed by flooding that affected an estimated 130,000 people. Many were left to rummage through the rubble looking for possessions to salvage. I'm very sad, because we worked like crazy to get money, and now the house is destroyed. How can we not be sad? We are disaster victims and we receive no help, no support measures, there's nothing. The Disasters Management Office announced that about 20,000 people had already started to return home as the waters began to recede. For the past 3 days, the weather has improved. It is sunny. The water has gone down in several areas. That's why we decided to bring the disaster victims back home to the stadium. We spoke with them and they agreed to leave. After Madagascar, Storm Ana advanced to Mozambique and Malawi, causing extensive damage in both countries. At least 38 people are known to have died. Burkina Faso and Tunisia are getting ready for the quarter-final clash in the African Cup of Nations on Saturday. Tunisia finished the group stage in style by defeating Nigeria 1-0. In the other match of the day, Gambia and the host nation Cameroon will come head-to-head for a place in the semi-finals. Speaking ahead of the match, Tunisia player Wabi Kazri said that the strength of the team is what is important. We are confident. We are happy with the journey we have made, as the coach said. We can't wait for everyone to come back. The coach, the players who are still there. As I said, the strength of our team is the collective. That's how we are able to go far. It's a qualification match, a ticket for the semi-finals. So it's a match that we absolutely have to win to continue in the competition. A match that will be very difficult and very disputed.
En tout cas, la compétition, donc un match a priori difficile et qui sera très très disputé.